Hi guys, it's Mrs. Ogle. I'm glad to be seeing you again today. Let's get started learning something new. Are you ready? Okay, we're going to start with our song. It's time to start our day. It's time to start our day. It's time to give a great big cheer and then be on our way. Hooray! All right, do you know what day it is? Oh, we're going to talk about it in just a minute. It's one of my favorite days, but first I need you to stand up big and tall. Hand goes over our heart. Are you ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good job, guys. Now let's talk about what day it is. It's a whole new month. This is the month of May. And do you see what number I've got up there big and bold? Number 1. When we start counting, we always start with the number 1. And when we start a new month, we start it on the number 1. So today is Friday, May 1. But I've also got something else on our calendar. Do you know what this day is? This is our last day of learning together. It's our last day for the school year. A lot of you are going to head on to kindergarten. Some of you are going to come back and do preschool with me again. Oh, if you're headed to kindergarten, I am super duper proud of all of the learning and growing you've done. And if you're coming back to see me again next year, oh, that makes my heart happy too. I am missing you guys, but I am so proud of how well you're doing. As we get closer and closer to this day, we're going to start counting how many more days are left before our learning is done this way. All right. And today, I didn't even talk about it. Today is our Fun Friday. Fun Fridays are lots of fun. I'm going to start checking in on my flowers every Fun Friday with you guys. And at school, we would do our popcorn snack. We would take a library book home. I hope you get some special cuddles with your grown-up, maybe read a book together and get to do something extra fun on our Fun Friday. We're going to look at shapes. Before we start talking about our plants today, I want to see if you can help me figure out some shapes. This is an envelope. We use envelopes to send letters and mail to people who don't live very close to us. Sometimes grown-ups will get cards in the mail. You might get a card for your birthday. You might send a letter to someone. I even had 1 or 2 friends who put something in the mail for Mrs. Ogle. I loved getting that. Thank you for that. What shape do you think that envelope is? Let's look at some choices. Is it a circle? Is it a triangle? Or do you see a rectangle? Mrs. Ogle's in front of that rectangle, aren't I? There we go. Let's try that for a minute. What shape do you think that envelope is? It's got 2 long sides and 2 short sides. It's a, oh, here we go. It's a rectangle, isn't it? Good job. You guys are really good at shapes, so we're going to do some more shapes. Right here, I've got a picture of pie. Pie is yummy. Do you know what kind this would be? This looks like an apple pie. Apple pie can be a really great summertime dessert. So what shape is my apple pie? Look at that. What shape is my apple pie? Is it a circle, a diamond, or a square? What do you think? Does my pie have pointy sides? Nope, so it's probably not a diamond. Does it have 4 straight lines? No, so it's probably not a square. It looks like Susie's circle, doesn't it? Susie's circle, big and round. All I do is roll around. That pie is definitely a circle. One more. Let's do one more. This is a sign like you might see if you're out going for a walk or even riding in your car. Look at this. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. They're all diagonal lines, and they do look a little pokey on the top and the bottom. What do you think? Is that shape an oval, a diamond, or a triangle? Talk to your grown-up. See if you can figure it out. Is it an oval, a diamond, or a triangle? It's a diamond. You guys are so smart. I wonder if you can find a rectangle, a circle, and a diamond somewhere in your home or outside today. Be on the lookout for it. You're looking for a rectangle, a circle, and a diamond. That diamond can be kind of a tricky one to find. I want you to do your best and see if you can find one. If you can't find one, maybe you can draw one. Do you think you could do that? All right, we've been talking about plants. Do you remember what letter the word plant starts with? P, p, plant, p. It's a P, very good. Let's check the rest of those letters. P, L, A, N, T, S. Plants. All right, we're talking about plants. We've talked about the life cycle of a plant. So first, we have a seed, and then underground, the roots start to grow. We call that a seedling. When we start to see some green up on the top, we call that a sprout. What's funny to me is right here, sometimes the shell from the seed comes up with the sprout. You might even see that in the flowers that you guys are planting. And eventually, we get our full grown plant. So that's how a lot of plants work, but different plants sometimes have different steps to becoming full grown. Let's take a look at the life cycle of a sunflower. It's got a lot of those same steps. Look at this. It's got the seeds, and then it starts to have that little root coming off of it. We would call that a seedling. Here, it's a sprout where it starts to have the stem and the leaves, and now it's a full-grown plant. But even when it's a plant, it can keep growing. Now, in this picture right here, we see the flowers starting to show through. And eventually, the sunflower will droop and it'll die for the year, won't it? But it will drop all of these seeds again, so new sunflowers can keep growing. That's how we know it's a life cycle. It starts over and over and over again. That's the life cycle of a sunflower. All right, we've talked about the parts of a plant. Let's start at the top this time. What do we call this part of a plant? That's called a flower. Underneath the flower, a lot of plants have leaves. And what's this long, tall thing that works like a straw? Do you remember? It's not a straw, it's a stem. Very good. And under the ground grow the roots. That's right. All right, now I'm going to show you my plant. You remember, I planted the same kind of flowers that you have the seeds for at home. They're zinnias. They're a very pretty flower, and to do it best, usually only 1 or 2 seeds will grow in a cup at a time. Now, a lot of them might grow in the beginning, but they'll stop growing. So to get your flowers to grow all the way big and tall, you got to only put maybe 1 or 2 in there. So when I planted my flower seeds, for a long time, I just had a cup of dirt. Nothing happened. It took about 5 or maybe 6 days before my plant looked like anything at all. But underneath, what do you think was happening? The roots were starting to grow. And when I woke up, I think it was yesterday morning when I woke up, look at this. There's some green in my cup now. There's some green. I'm starting to see that my plant is going to grow, and this is where it gets lots of fun. We're going to check it again in about a week, and we're going to see how it changes from today to a week from now. Do you think it will get bigger or will it get smaller? I bet it'll get bigger. I bet it will. Okay, so if this is my plant right here, what part of the flower do you think you see? Well, what I'm looking at mostly is the leaves. But do you know it does have a tiny little stem growing? It's hard to see it from where we're looking at it on the picture, but there is a little bit of a stem there. And underneath, it does even have some roots. Now, what it doesn't have yet is the flower. A lot of plants, that's the last thing to show up. So that flower will come, but it might take a little while. For right now, I've got leaves, I've got a stem, and I've got roots. That's true. All right, today's book is Planting a Rainbow. Planting a Rainbow by Lois Allert. Okay, are you ready? This is a good one. I love flowers because they're so colorful. So let's read it together and see all of the colors they plant. Every year, Mom and I plant a rainbow. In the fall, we buy some bulbs. and plant them in the ground. And look, they use their popsicle sticks to write the words for what it is that they've planted. Because it might be hard to remember after a while. You might remember what you planted, but not where you put them. Oh my goodness. So they use popsicle sticks to help them remember. We order seeds from catalogs and we wait all winter long. Now, this is a zinnia, and that's what we planted. So it looks like they're going to plant some zinnias too. For spring to warm the soil and sprout the bulbs. That's what they've been waiting for. So all those bulbs are a type of seed that sometimes have to get planted quite a bit ahead of time. So they planted these bulbs in the fall and they have to wait a long time for the spring to come. It warms the soil and sprouts their bulbs. Then it's time to go to the garden center to collect some seedlings. So if you've ever planted a garden before, you might know that some things you put in as a seed, and sometimes it's a little bit nifty. It's easier to plant a seedling. So you can buy a plant that's already been started and put it in your garden. We sow the seeds and set out the plants in soil. Look at that. They have so many things in their garden. And we watch the rainbow grow. Are you starting to see their colors come up? What's one color you see a lot of? Do you see a lot of green? I do too. Gardens are great for growing lots and lots of green. And grow and grow. Now look at that. It's not so much green anymore, is it? There's lots of colors growing in their garden. We have some red flowers and orange flowers. Their zinnias are orange right here. I wonder what color your zinnia will be and mine. And some yellow blooms. We grow something green and some blue flowers and some purple flowers too. All summer long we pick them and bring them home. Flowers are so nice for that, aren't they? They're so pretty. It can be a lot of fun to pick them and bring them home. You might need to check with your grown-up before you pick too many flowers, but they can be beautiful in our homes. And when summer is over, we know we can grow our rainbow again next year. Some plants are really cool because, like the sunflower, they drop their own seeds and they come back again and again if that life cycle continues. Some plants don't do that, and we have to plant them each year from scratch, don't we? Mrs. Ogle is trying to grow a vegetable garden for the very first time in my whole life. You know, I am not a kid anymore. I'm not 4 or 5. I am 37 years old. I have never grown a garden before. And so we've got some seeds that we put in the dirt. And when I got up this morning, 2 of them were showing some green. And Mrs. Ogle was very excited about that. I'll keep you posted how my garden's doing. And we're going to keep checking in on my flowers too. But next week, we're going to start talking about dinosaurs. I love dinosaurs. So if you found that little toy dinosaur in your goodie bag that we left, keep an eye on it, know where it's at, because we're going to use that. And the next day or two when we come back, we're going to use that dinosaur toy. And we're going to use some other things too. So I hope you're keeping a good track of your goodie bag. I hope you're having lots and lots of fun with it because we've got more learning to do. Bye for now, guys. I'll see you later.